Hi everyone, this is Billy. That's Billy. There's Bruno.
Hello, hello.
So we have names of Billy and Bruno because when the angry Wog or ethnic or Greek boy comes out of us, certain accents appear and we get a bit cranky. So that's our stage name, Billy and
Our
Bruno.
alter egos, our alter egos. So,
Yeah.
but
So today, we wanted to have a quick chat and recap Cheryl because we've been getting heaps of messages about Cheryl's story, which is awesome. So it's definitely helping people, which is what we wanted to do. So the three keys I got from it was that she changed her diet, she changed her lifestyle, and then she changed her medicine. So she initially did chemo, she could feel it going through her body, made her feel really crook. She spoke to Andy and the Andy's family, and they told her about this protocol from Mexico called Hoxley. And that's the medicine I guess she went on to. So I've been getting emails about it. I won't put any links in because I've tried putting links and we had issues with the title of the video getting pulled down. I've already been breached by YouTube. Bastards. Anyway, but if you just Google Hoxley, yeah, you'll be able to find it.
yeah, it's actually Hoxie, Hoxie.
Hoxley. All right.
No,
So
well, yeah,
Andy, you want to explain it more?
yeah. I'm just like so. We did a video not long ago with Cheryl, and I just want to do a recap. There's a couple of things that I wish we spoke about, and it's only a couple of points. So number one, she's doing well. She's doing really well. She's traveling Australia in a van. She's healthy. She's happy. She's got no symptoms. And this is, you got to remember, this is from a prognosis that wasn't looking very, well, that wasn't very good. Not meant to make it past last Christmas. So she's approaching this Christmas and she's doing really well. She's looking the best she's ever looked. Um, she's she's very happy and she's very confident. And what I wanted to touch on that we didn't touch on when we spoke to Cheryl is that when you when when she did the hoaxy, when she came to me for the hoaxy, and she went through all that, it was a good environment, a positive environment. She read the book, so it was positive, positive, positive. And I think the biggest difference, she said to me, that was the experience with her oncologist versus the experience with the hoaxing, was one was all positive, you're gonna be fine, this is what you're gonna do. And the other one was, you're not gonna make it. We're just here to prolong your life a few months. There's no cure. Um, Look, that's all we got to say to you. So we just need to really, pump you with these chemicals. They're going to make you really sick. So in that 3 to 6 months that you might get, you're not going to be feeling really well at all. You're going to be, these are the symptoms, and there was a big list of symptoms. So already when you go to these oncologists, and look, I don't want to, you know, harp on or go hard on the oncologist, because this is the way they're trained. This is the way, that's all they know. They're not bad people, but this is just the way they've been trained. And you're doomed from the start, because if you believe, and this is my experience, and Nick and I said it last podcast, we're not doctors, we're not professionals. This is just from my experience. So I just want people to remember that. This might not be for everyone, but if I enter an oncologist's office and they're telling me, Andy, there's no cure for what you've got, we're just going to do this, I'm defeated already. I'm expecting not to make it. I'm expecting just to live a couple of months, and I think your brain and body connection will act accordingly. So that was a big thing for Cheryl. She tasted that. But then she tasted the other side, which is no. You're gonna change your diet. You're gonna exercise. This is very doable. It's happened to many before. So I think that was a big part of, choosing the path that she did, which brings her to today, alive, happy, and the healthiest she's ever been. And Nick, I just want to say, I just read an article the other day about Elle Macpherson. I didn't even know this. She kept it pretty quiet, and I don't blame her, because the path she took was also the natural path, an alternative method to chemotherapy. And I think she kept it quiet because she knew I guess, the pressure or the judgment she might get being a public figure. But she's 7 years in remission, and I'm not saying she did the hoaxy. I don't know what she did, but she said she went down the natural path, and she didn't do chemo. So chemo can be for you. I'm not saying don't do chemo, but I'm also saying there's other ways to do it that could be, like, look at Cheryl, a lot easier. It doesn't have to be about hospitals and tubes and vomiting and losing your hair and seeing all these doctors in white coats and clipboards giving you your results. And that's how people picture cancer. But Cheryl's a great example of, it doesn't have to be that way. It just doesn't. Your body's telling you, hey, we've got cancer. We're doing something wrong. What have we done to reach this point? It's just tapping you on the shoulder saying, hey, we need to change a few things. And if you do, and you believe that you're going to get better, and I'm not just saying just try any old thing, like, do your research, be diligent, be responsible. But there's many ways to do it other than the conventional chemotherapy way, and it's less painful. It doesn't affect your life that much. You just, you change a few things diet-wise and all that, and you can go on living. You don't have to leave your job. You don't have to do any of that. You can go on living and healing yourself at the same time. So it doesn't have to just come in like a tornado and turn your life upside down. That's my point. I really wanted to touch on last week, but we just didn't get the time.
It's interesting about Elle, because now she's getting absolutely hammered and bashed for telling everybody, and they're saying it's so wrong, that it's so irresponsible. I'm like, but she kept it quiet, didn't say anything, then comes out. We live in an upside down world where, like, you're just not allowed to say anything anymore unless it's part of the, whatever you want to call it. I don't want to go into conspiracy.
I call it the status quo.
Yeah.
The status quo.
It just fascinated me that this poor woman had an event, and then consulted her doctors, because I actually read up on it, and then she looked at all the options on the table, and she made her choice, and that was her decision. And now all she's innocently doing is sharing her story so other people can hear it. I don't know how that is dangerous, and they're now trying to say that she actually didn't do a different technique. She actually followed the normal process, and anyway, who knows? But she's alive, she's well. Because we think of Olivia Newton-John, another famous Australian, and she just looks so sick, the poor thing, who's now passed, and what she went through it for years. And again, me and Andy, or me and Billy, aren't doctors or professional people, so we just got to give, this is just, we're just rambling here. We're just talking from our heart and what we think we're seeing.
This is not scripted, literally. Nick and I just got online and just started talking, and wherever the conversation leads, it does. But you'll find something that's really close to our heart is health, and just some hard truths about health that no one wants to talk about publicly because they're scared of judgment. They're scared of, you know what, you can lose friends when you talk a certain way. And if that's the way you feel in your heart you need to be, you should do that without losing friends or being judged. But hey, Nick, another thing which I want to quickly say about the hoaxy. We did a whole podcast on Cheryl, which was focused around the hoxie. And again, we're recapping it. Why the hoxie? Why the hoxie? Out of all the other stuff you can do, why the hoxie? It's a good question. And the reason that stands out for me is this: the American Medical Association tried to buy it. Okay, now if that's not proof enough that hey, the Hox is onto something, then I don't know what is. So they tried to buy it, and the reason why you might think, oh, it's in Mexico. I'm a bit nervous. It's not in a country like America or Canada or Australia or England. It's in Mexico. Why is it there? It's because the AMA wanted to buy it, and Harry, the founder of the tonic, had a stipulation in the contract that said, I will sell it to you, the government, the medical establishment, the American Medical Association. I will sell it to you because I've proven to you that it works. You've seen it with your own eyes. You want to buy it off me. But my only stipulation is that if you come across a person who needs it, that cannot afford it, and that person can prove that they can't afford it, you must give it to them for free. And the American Medical Association rejected that. They didn't want a bar of it. They even went as far as to say we might not even release it. We're going to keep chemo as the number one thing. So they saw the Hoxie as a massive threat to chemotherapy. So they went about, unfortunately, in a very corrupt manner, in a very, very shady manner, kicked the Hoxie out of America. The Hoxie had many hospitals in America once upon a time, 100 years ago, or even 80 years ago. Don't judge me on that. It's something like that. But now they've unfortunately had to go to Mexico just to function. So if you do go down the path of Hoxie, just be aware they're in Mexico. The language barrier there, the way they email. Look past that and just focus on the actual tonic and what it can do. Because I know a lot of people have been a little bit dismayed with the whole Mexico thing and all this. My cousin included, who's gone down that path as well. But don't hold it against the actual tonic, because the tonic works.
So just for people who've never heard about it, because I was actually thinking about this after Cheryl, you've sort of just touched on it there. And it seems like some fella, I don't know, 80, 100 years ago invented it. It's some form of tonic. It was all from the US, from some guy, and I guess it got passed down through his family. And then it basically got booted out of America. So they've had to set up shop in Mexico, which is quite common. There's so many products and services that get booted out of a country. So if you're diagnosed with cancer and you want to go down this path, so what are you actually doing? Are you taking medicine? Is it a drug? Is it a tonic? What actually is it, and how did it come about?
Yeah, so Harry Hoxie was the one that invented it, and there's a whole book on it. I recommend you read it.
The book Cheryl.
The book is actually, you know what, the book is on tour at the moment because I'm spreading the word through the book, and I'm sending it's with my cousin, and it's going to go to a friend of mine after him. So I don't have it with me, but we'll put the exact name of the book in the details, Nick, after this if we can, in the comment section or however we do it. But what it is a tonic. So it's a tonic that you mix with juice or water. You have it 4 times a day. You build yourself up to a certain amount of So you might start off with 1/4 teaspoon, work your way up to a whole teaspoon, 4 times a day, and a change of diet to make sure that because the tonic can actually clash with certain foods that neutralize the effect. So there's no pain, there's no injections, there's nothing. It is just a change of diet, and you'll be surprised. It's not that much of a change. You can't have pork, for example. You've got to stop drinking alcohol if you're a drinker of alcohol, and you've got to stop having vinegar in your food because they neutralize the tonic. So you take that out and you take the tonic 4 times a day, and that is it. A couple of supplements they'll recommend. I don't think it's a must, but I would do it because if they're recommending it, it's a couple of supplements or natural. And it basically boosts your immune system and it attacks the cancer. But it's not just tumors, it's blood cancers, tumor cancers, and all types of cancers. And it's close to me because my mum was on it. Unfortunately, my mum had a very complex journey. It wasn't straightforward, and she had other things to deal with, but I'll tell you quickly. It actually bought her another year and a half before the other stuff ended up taking her. But when we were in the oncologist's office and we saw that scan, January 22, my mum had already done chemo for a year. They said it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good. And then we went back, did the hoaxy, came back 7, 8 months later, and the cancer was nearly gone. They freaked out. But again, I'll go back to, I don't want to go into my mum's journey too much right now, but she had other complex issues that prevented, her really being successful with the hoaxy. So it's close to my heart. We know Cheryl's doing well on it. And that's why I'm so passionate about the hoaxy.
So okay, so it's in America, founded by sorry, it's in
Harry
Mexico.
hoaxy.
And it was founded in America. There's a book which Cheryl held up last week, and we'll put it in the show notes. You can looks like you're taking it up to 4 times today. I'm just recapping for a layperson here who's never heard of it, because someone might be watching who's just being diagnosed and freaking out and scared of chemo and wants to go down another path.
Well, Nick, just before I forget, you can do both. You can do both. If you want to go down the conventional path and do chemo, the tonic doesn't affect it. So in essence, you're looking after the natural side of things and the conventional side of things, hitting it from all angles. That's what a lot of people do. So just before I forget, you reminded me. Yeah.
People are doing both. So is it an expensive thing? Like, is it like you go to Woolworths or your shops and you pay $20 for a packet of vitamins, or is it tens of thousands?
You're looking at approximately, and like I said, it could be a little bit less or a little bit more depending on your situation, what you have, and all that type of stuff. Around 3.5 grand for 6 months worth.
Okay.
And generally, depending on what cancer you have, what stage you are. For an example, Cheryl's going to be on the tonic for around 5 years, so you're looking at around 10 orders. So it'll be around the 30 grand mark, but that's over half a decade.
Yeah.
Your results, though, will be a lot sooner. So you should see, if it's going to work for you and if it's right for you, let me harp on that. This is not for everyone. You might not feel comfortable going down this path, but if you do, and it works, it should work a lot quicker than the 5 years. It should work within a year. And then to completely keep it away from you so it doesn't come back, you stay on it for a fair bit after it goes away completely. So we got 6 month supply, a supply of 6 months every time. Some and my cousin's on it now. He only has to be on it for 2 years. So that's it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 orders 6 monthly. So it varies, but that's the general way they do it.
It's very interesting. Is I Googled it, YouTubed it. When I YouTubed it, I could find barely any information on it. So
what about the information you did find? That's what I'm curious about. Was it negative? Was it positive?
Oh, everything was negative. I don't think
it doesn't surprise me.
I don't think I found one positive story, but we saw that during COVID when they attacked Rogan when he got COVID and he said what he was doing, and this ivermectin, like it was this drug had won all these awards. It was like a gift from God before COVID. Everyone was using it. It was so good, and then mysteriously it was the worst thing ever. They started coming out with ads. Don't be a horse. It's a horse dewormer and all this. But now they've come out since then and said, "Oh no, it actually works." So
isn't that funny? Isn't that funny?
And again, we don't want to be negative and be labeled conspiracy theorists. Actually, I don't mind being labeled.
I hate that word. I actually hate that word. I hate the word conspiracy.
Just a way to shut you down. That's like wokeism. I was listening to, if anyone knows who the band The Smiths are from the 80s, the lead singer Morrissey. He was talking about the word woke. He goes, the word actually woke is conformity. He goes, they are making us conform to their ways. Now this guy's a muso, right? He's a lead singer of a rock and roll band. He never talks about his sexuality, but everyone knows the guy's gay and bisexual. So you'd think if there's anyone who's going to be into this whole woke movement, it'd be Morrissey. And even he came in and he goes, this is wrong. They're just trying to get us to form. It's just, it was like many years ago. Now, me and Andy, you can tell we're not dinky die Aussies, we got ethnic background, but many moons ago, the way to shut people down was just to yell at you that you were a racist to end the conversation. So we should all be able to have a conversation in reason. Of course, if you're talking bad stuff and it's, what do
If
they
it's hate, nothing
Yeah.
nothing hateful, you can be passionate,
Yeah.
which I am. So occasionally I come across as too much, but it's just because I'm just so passionate about what I believe in, and I'm all about logic. A lot of the time, if you break things down and just look at the logic behind it, I'll give you an example, Nick. All right. So COVID came out and everyone had to run. The government was pushing the vaccine. Okay. Now the vaccine, there was a split within doctors. So a lot of doctors said, no, don't do this. It's not gonna be good for your body. It's gonna cause you dramas down the track, et cetera, et cetera. Then a whole bunch of other doctors were saying, no, 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 you got to get it. It's good. It's been tested. This, and that. So I'm sitting there as a logical person, and I'm without wanting to take a side, just the whole logic of it. I've got doctors that are divided about this vaccine, right? These doctors are saying no chance, and these doctors are saying absolutely. Wouldn't you just want to say, if you're the decision maker for your family, my wife, my kids, I'm about to let them take this vaccine. My logic was, well, I'm just going to sit back and wait, because until you guys agree more, I don't want to borrow it, because if they're right, I'm in trouble. And if they're right, well, good on you for taking it. But you just got to look at the logic of it, or stand back sometimes and go, well, if doctors are divided, then why would I take a side? Just wait until more things come out. And I apply that sort of mentality to a lot of things, and it's done well for me.
My thing with the vaccine and COVID and that was, I want to trust the science, believe the doctors, how we were always raised to. But when they started coercing people to take it, is when I went, okay, there's some funny business going on here. When they started saying you can't do this and you can't do that, and then you'd ask, but why? Oh, because we're in a pandemic. And that was just the fallback line. We're in a pandemic. Don't you want to save lives? So when people coerce, forget about COVID, but whenever I hear we're being coerced to do something and they're using emotion, okay, if you don't do this because of this emotional reason, that's when alarm bells go off. I go, you're being emotionally manipulated to do something that you don't want to. When if it was legitimate and they just come out and said, hey, look, we think we're in a pandemic, we think this is going on, we've rushed through this vaccine, there could be side effects. If you want to give it a crack, it's up to you. Do you know what I mean? Instead of and then we had here in Australia, like in Melbourne, it was just horrendous, locking people down forever.
Oh.
And the biggest thing was, because I won't go into my own healing journey, but the biggest thing is about fear. And it was 24/7 fear. They'd have a politician stand up on the TV every day with the stats of how many people are dropping dead, how many people have got it. It was just fear, fear, fear. So it's very interesting. So they're the three things for me. If they're trying to coerce you, use emotion to emotionally, manipulate you. Like every time in Australia recently, we've had like referendums, for gay rights and Aboriginal rights, and they start going down the emotional track. Like, people are going to kill themselves if this doesn't happen, this doesn't get passed. You're like, come on, guys. Like, just what happened? It's interesting. Go on YouTube and just go and watch the news and people talking back in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, and listen to how they talk in their debate. There's none of that. People provide strong oral arguments. They can articulate it. Everyone has their own position. Everyone makes an informed decision and gets on with it. But now that doesn't happen. You just shouted down and screamed at. And like you said before, you get shut out. You lose friends, family, especially with the internet and social media. That's why I have a Nokia and I'm off the internet, because I don't want to have anything to do with it. There is so much good in the internet. Like now we're obviously on the internet. We're on the line. So that's good as well. But yeah, today I wanted to talk. Follow up from Cheryl, and you've explained it very well, because, like you said, you've been through that, and so people can know what it's about, they can go about it. So, and you said you just got to look past the challenges, the communication barrier dealing with people from Mexico. Now, what sort of people are they? That's one question I wanted to ask. Are these doctors? Are these nurses? Are they oncologists? These people down in Mexico, the Hoxley people. So, are they all professionals? Like, and
Yeah,
how?
so they're a mixture. So that's a good question, very good question. They're a mixture of a lot of them are proper doctors that have gone through the medical system, they've earned their diplomas, and they've, what I call proper doctors, whereas they don't just want to do what the textbooks tell them. If there's something else that could be of interest and that could work, they look into it. And a lot of them have looked into the hoaxy and they've I wouldn't say jump ship, but decided to go down this path. And they know what they're talking about. A lot of them are dietitians, naturopaths. But the ones that are actually talking to you about what you need to do and giving you advice on how to do things in your general life to ensure that the hoaxy is working, they're doctors. They're doctors. So you can rest assured you're in pretty educated hands. They're not snake oil salesmen. They're not just a bunch of people that found out the hoaxy. Oh, this works. I'm gonna start working there at the hospital and start giving it to people. No. These people know what they're talking about. So rest assured, you're in good hands. But yeah, like I said before, Nick, it's a shame my cousin had some bad experience with communication with one of the doctors there or one of the administrators there, and he put him off. He put him off for a little while. Not now. He's back. He's back on to the hoaxy, but for a little while he used that and he got put off. So please rise above it. Focus on the actual results this tonic has been giving people. And once you start talking to the doctors, they'll guide you. They'll guide you very well in what you need to do. They're happy to answer any of your questions. And remember, time difference. They're on Pacific time, so there is actually a big time difference there. So just be wary of that. And I'd love to put the email for the actual doc. It's a group email for the doctors over there, where you can that's your starting point. Email them saying, hey, I've just been diagnosed. I don't know. I'm not sure what to do here. What do you have to say about it? And then just go from there.
So you're not receiving any commission, are you?
Sorry?
You're receiving any commission from these people?
No, but you know what?
Get the
My
cash.
commission is knowing that people are going to do well or are doing well. That's my commission.
It's very, very interesting. But I like that you also said that people do both. They do this method.
You can do both. Yeah, absolutely. And it complements. The doctors will tell you that at times the side effects of chemo are a little bit less because of the goodness of the tonic. So that's on an individual basis. It's subjective, but it happened with my mum. She had really minor chemo side effects because she was on a tonic.
All right, we'll have to wrap it up. We're about to be kicked off from Zoom because I'm too tight to actually pay for the professional package. So thanks everyone. We'll put everything we've talked about in the show notes today. We might even put maybe Andy's email or my email, so you can reach out, because I've been having people reach out as well who have got more questions because we may have missed some things. And we'll be back soon with some more info.
Thank you.